On June 21, 2004, San Bernardino government began to occupy the restored Santa Fe Depot, located on 3rd Street. The new depot now serves Metrolink, a commuter rail service that houses the offices of Metrolink and Sandbag. Restoration of the depot began in November 2002. The restoration work consisted of historically accurate renovations of the interior and exterior, installation of utilities, seismic retrofitting, and asbestos removal. Sandbag linked with the city of San Bernardino to begin work to bring the 57,000 square foot steel and concrete depot back to life. $15 million were acquired through federal and state grants and local money. However, this was not the first time the depot was reconstructed. The original depot was built back in 1886 when the Southern Pacific Railway came into the area. The back then wooden depot was burnt to the ground by a fire that broke out November 11, 1916 at 11 o'clock p.m. 2 years later, in 1918, a new depot was constructed with $800,000. It was opened July 15th. The San Bernardino Sun declared Santa Fe's new station to be the finest west of the Mississippi. The depot even made a debut in the film The Changeling, starring Angelina Jolie. Inside the station was roundhouses, shops, and the Harvey House.
Consideration. Fred T. Harvey wanted the passengers to have first-class travel, and that included a restaurant chain. And in San Bernardino, we have an original Harvey House that was towards the eastern end of this building. And the Harvey Girls, that began in 1876, and Fred Harvey, through an oral agreement with the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe Railroad, opened up his first depot restaurants in Topeka, Kansas. That was the headquarters of the railroad at that time. And interesting to note, the waitresses were not called waitresses, they were called Harvey Girls. And they had to wear a certain uniform. They had to be single and chaperoned, so it was very highly organized and very highly enforced.
The west end of the depot consisted of baggage room, superintendent's office, the mail room, the telegraph office, and the Western Union. Upstairs, you could find the engineers' offices, the onion domes, which were mostly decorations that are housed pigeons, 3rd Street Side Credit Union, and East End, the Harvey House. Around this time, the railways were experiencing what they referred to as heydays. This period lasted around the 1920s to 1950. A popular tourist attraction on the West Coast was the Tail of the Kite, a famous kite-shaped track excursion that had formed during the land boom of the 1800s. In July 1929, the Goodyear blimp voluntarily lands at the depot. This was the city's first rail-air transfer of passengers. During this time period, the depot was experiencing trains passing through every 2 hours, 13 eastbound and 13 westbound. At the time, the railway contributed to the San Bernardino city's economy.
The depot is as many as 2,200 employees employed right here in this complex, and along with Norton Air Force Base and Kaiser Steel, that's the only thing that supported San Bernardino.
But around the 1960s, the depot began to demise. The railway that was once used to transport oranges, people, and soldiers during World War II was no longer being used the way it once was due to the increased use of automobiles and planes and the invention of diesel fuel. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad had a strong influence promoting the citrus industry with the National Orange Show. The railway also began to lay off employees due to the use of diesel fuel. Now the railway serves as the eastern terminus for Metrolink, trains catering to freights and commercial travels.